Namah Shivaya. Episode 25, Chapter 6, verses 33 to 36. How to control our agitated mind. In verses 33 and 34, Arjuna describes his mind as agitated, strong, and a well-rooted tyrant, which is impossible to control like the wind. And he knows that he cannot gain mastery of his mind by reasoning with himself. For example, no one wants to get angry. However, emotions like anger, sorrow has a hold on us. No matter how refined and cultured is our upbringing, education, status are. Arjuna knows that he needs a steady and a composed mind, stiram stihitam, to have the vision of sameness, yoga samyena, see Ishvara in all being and all being in Ishvara. Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna as Madhusudana. Madhu means honey, and it also means ego. Like honey, we all love our ego and want to fatten it up. And Sri Krishna has the capacity to falsify our ego, ahankara. That is why Arjuna addresses him as Madhusudana, to teach him the knowledge of Brahman, to discover that our true nature is absolute bliss. We are Satchit Ananda Atma, thereby having mastery of our mind. In verse 35, Sri Krishna addresses Arjuna by two different names. First as Kaunteya, the son of Kunti, and number two as Mahabaho, mighty strength, which are opposite in meaning. First, by addressing him as Kaunteya, the son of Kunti, Sri Krishna is indicating that Arjuna is nursing a child within due to his ignorance and immaturity. Number two, by addressing him as Mahabaho, mighty strength, he is indicating to him that the Atma within, his true self, is mighty strong. By tapping into the glories of the Atma within, we can gain the knowledge of Brahman to have mastery of our body, mind, senses. Sri Krishna agrees that to control an agitated mind is very difficult, dur nigraha, but by practice and by being objective, we can gain mastery of our mind. Abhyasatu vairagya. By practicing meditation and contemplating upon the knowledge of Brahman, abhyasa, the impressions of our past karmas in our subconscious mind keep surfacing. Our minds will go towards objects of love and objects of pain, which indicates the content of our agitated mind. By seeing the content of our agitated mind, then we must practice objectivity, vairagya. objects of pain is taken care of by keeping a distance between ourselves and pain. It takes time, but we can maintain a certain distance. Because pain is for this physical body. It is not for the mind. Due to our ignorance, we are identifying ourselves with this body and feeling the pain and making our mind agitated. So we must keep a distance from pain. This takes time, but with practice, we can master this pain. Number 2, objects of love, like fulfilling our desires for wealth and pleasure, is taken care of by emotional growth, by understanding that all our desires for wealth and pleasure is temporary. Whatever comes will go, and whatever goes will return. But love for moksha, gaining the knowledge of Brahman, gives absolute peace, thereby having mastery over our mind. And number 3, being objective also means seeing the objective value of things. For example, money should be seen only for its purchasing power. However, society superimposes upon money subjective values such as success, fame, power, etc., regardless of whether it was earned legitimately or not. And chasing after its subjective value keeps our mind agitated and restless. By practicing meditation and being objective, abhyasa to vairagya, for a length of time, then only the child within becomes wise, to become a warrior of mighty strength, Mahabaho, to have mastery of our mind, Manaha Griyate. In verse 36, Sri Krishna states his vision. Iti me mati. He said, this yoga of sameness, yoga samyena, is very difficult to attain when our minds are not mastered. We have to gain mastery of our mind by proper means, that is, abhyasa to vairagya, practice, and by being objective. Then only we can have this vision of sameness. When it comes to meditation, Sri Krishna speaks very little. He states it briefly and adequately, and he leaves it to us to practice. In verse 32 of this chapter, Sri Krishna concluded the Gita for the 3rd time. Now it is up to us to practice. First, by being a karma yogi and purifying our minds, practicing abhyasa and being vairagya to steady our mind, then only we will be ready for the knowledge of Brahman. Jnana Vijnana Yoga. The next 6 chapters, chapters 7 to 12, Sri Krishna is going to teach us in detail the knowledge of Brahman, for us to meditate, contemplate, and be objective about. So at verse 36, we shall take a break before we hear what Arjuna's second question is. So till then, Om Namah Shivaya.